All right, guys. Shane Bell here from UrgentFury.com. We are going to do a little impromptu end of E3 video. It's kind of a spur of the moment. I've got No Fear, aka Beam Me Up Scotty, over here with me. And as you can see, we're wearing the Greatness Awaits shirts, getting ready for the PS4. We're both PlayStation MVPs. But we'll talk about E3 in a minute. First, I want to talk about H-Hour. So we both were getting on the road, getting ready to go out
packing
here.
My bags. Packing my bags.
I was already on the highway. I drove out here from Texas, and we found out that Mr. Sears, a.k.a. David Sears, a.k.a. the god of Socom, launched a Kickstarter without giving us any notice to prepare for this. And, so I know you've got your pledge in.
Yep.
And
number 23, I think.
All right. No, I know a lot of guys are getting their pledges in. And I noticed a few days, it may have been a few days ago, I don't know what day it was, maybe during all of E3, Connor posted up an interesting question about what does it mean to be a gaming community, or what does gaming community mean? And I think that's ironic because funny thing is we were asked almost the same thing by
we were asked
Sony,
the exact same thing
by Sony throughout the day, and we can't talk a whole lot about some of the stuff we did as MVPs, but it's interesting to see the dynamic how all of these companies are starting to finally pay attention to community, what their really community base is all about. And so I want to start first. Let's talk about how HR, what the Socom community, the tactical shooter community, because it's more than just Socom. I mean, we're talking all those guys are looking for that
tactical experience.
That tactical experience where you actually have to play as a team. Your life means something in the game. What that's all about. And I apologize if the mic sounds all kind of funky in this, because I didn't plan on doing any video shooting on this trip. We're sitting in the hotel room. We're using the laptop mic on my HP. So for all you guys that want to hate on us on how this sounds, screw you guys. We're at E3.
So get up, bitches.
So Scott, Fear. Yeah. What do you want me to call you? You want me to call you Fear? You want me to call
Scott?
Fearless?
No Fear.
No Fear.
It's all good.
I've been calling you old man all week.
Yeah. I'm the one jogging up the stairs, and everybody else is waiting in line for the escalator.
Dude, I ain't gonna lie. This dude has got some energy that's like none other. You can ask anybody that knows me. I've been coming to E3 for like 4 or 5 years now. I've lost count, and by Thursday, I'm beyond dragging ass. I'm like dragging shoulder. I mean, there's dragging ass. My shoulders are dragging on the ground, and my feet are killing me.
I'm built for this.
And Scott's running laps around me, and he's got a few years on me.
I'm wound up.
Yeah,
I'm a little wound up.
He's got quite a few years on. Well, not quite a few years on me, but he's got a.
There's a reason why I game.
He's got a typical COD player on me when it comes to age. So, let's talk about, because I mean, you were one of the original moderators on the Socom Forums before Sony even had forums.
Well, it was back in the day when we were doing the beta testing, and we had beta sections of the forums. All the beta testers got the beta, and this is back when betas came on a disc from FedEx, and you had to sign for them, not download stuff.
You were signing your
life away with Sony. Here's your NDA. Don't sell our disc on eBay, please.
Not please. There was no please in that.
Well, they would say please. They were nice about it, but we won't talk about what happened when things were
fine print. They own your left nut.
Much. So we got the discs and would play the games. Betas online.
Right.
And it was just a select number of few people, and they would ramp it up and get more and more people. So we'd be talking with the developers on the issues that we found in the game, in the beta space, and of course, everyone's got an opinion. Gamers. Oh my God. Really?
You have no opinion.
You have
kidding
no opinion. Nope. So people would be very, very passionate. There's one thing about the Socom community. We are passionate gamers. We are enthusiastic gamers. And sometimes you'd get into some very heated discussions and debates on this feature compared to this feature, or should they change this, or should they change that? And you had to defend yourself. You had to defend your position, And sometimes it involved berating someone into a corner until their comments started to digress to the point where now they're name calling. And as soon as that happens, you just won the argument. They paid attention to that. And when they saw some people that were pretty much handling themselves, it basically got to a point where I was reporting people so often, they're like, you don't have to report anymore, no fear.
Stop reporting.
We'll just give you some admin rights here. You can just like pretty much handle it. Thank you. So yeah, I full contract NDA with Lithium Technologies. They invited me on board. I went through the whole, just like an employee, I went through the whole screening process. I had to train. They brought 2 other volunteers on at the time. And yeah, we had to prove ourselves out there too with the community. And it was based off of community feedback whether or not we lived or died there.
That's interesting. So, you look back at the original the original Socom community that built up, especially, Socom 1, it laid that foundation.
Socom 1 was the game.
Right.
There was a handful of people on the forums, like 5,000 active posters.
And then Socom 2 comes along and
blew up.
You had this whole new, it was a whole new thing for gaming back then. It wasn't a new thing for console gaming. It was a new thing because guys had the guilds and all that stuff on PC.
We had the clans in Battlefield too, and Counter-Strike was huge community.
But the Socom community was a whole different breed because Socom was such a tactical. It meant so much for your team to have tactics. Thinking about the tactical whiteboard the Sea Snipers had.
That was huge.
Guys would meet with their clans. Everybody had that whiteboard.
We sat down. We used them in my clan.
You'd have that whiteboard up, and you would draw up your plans when you were playing a clan match, or back in the old days when Urgent Fury just got started. Back when we were just in a clan that was in Urgent Fury, you would practice. If you had a war, say on Thursday, you started practicing on Friday before.
We had guys in roles. I mean, we had the sniper, we had the scout. I'm the guy, balls in, jumps through the guy. I either killed the guys in half the team, or I died in the first 30 seconds.
Right. So you had it's almost 2 dynamics to community. You had your clan, which is a miniature community within the community of your friends. And everyone knew their role.
Yep.
Everyone
played their strength.
Everyone knew each other. I mean, there's hundreds of times of instances where if your PS3 your PlayStation 2 broke, or your disc broke, you could say, "Hey guys, man, I can't get on. My PlayStation broke." And they'd be like, "Hold on, go to Western Union, go buy you another one. We need you on tonight."
I mailed one of my clan guys a hard drive. I'm not a hard drive, but the memory stick.
Oh. Everyone did that shit to get the ghillie suit.
Oh, remember that? That was bad, yes. No, I didn't do that. I didn't give away my file. But I did give a guy
Everybody was doing that with the ghillie suit. I won't forget that.
Because this is when we had to get the first patch. The first downloaded patch on a console ever.
Right.
You needed the 8 megabyte.
Thanks for what you started, Socom. See, we got to put up went out. But so you had this little miniature community that was your clan.
Yep.
And then there was this monster that started to build up on the forums, where all the guys that were playing not only interacted with their clans, but then they started interacting together on the forums
with each other.
And
it was a place to go. Now, back when I was on the forums, it was the beta that first brought me there.
Right.
Because they had the beta forums.
Right.
And now I'm like, well, what's going over on here in the public space? And like, I come from the old school PC gamers, all right? So that community was out there. I started seeing.
You had a Tandu, right?
Oh no, I didn't have a Tandu. A 386 SX was my first.
Sorry to interrupt you, but he's old.
I am. That's true.
So you had these guys. So you kind of wander into the public.
Yep.
The public space, and what are you seeing?
Now, on the computer side of things, that community is like its own thing.
Right.
But. Of course, a lot of the computer guys a lot of them are technical people and stuff like that. But when I started looking at the public space on the Socom forums, there were people there that just didn't quite get it. They were running out there and getting shot and dying, and it's like, how do I survive?
All these guys are still playing Call of Duty today.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'd sit down and I'd talk to them, and it's like you'd give someone advice, and the best advice I could give is like, follow somebody, support them, back them up. So people started communicating, and then people started getting better. Now the friendships that we formed online started to come into that community space. It's like, how do we talk about this? Where do we talk about this? Oh, well, they have these forums.
Right, right.
It engaged the community. We engaged each other, and we built that level of communication where now you started to recognize people, you recognize clans.
Right. Your gamer tag actually started to mean something.
And these were not all computer people.
Right.
These are people that were console gamers. Maybe they had a Nintendo back in the day. Maybe they had an Atari like me.
I had an Atari, so you can't.
Yeah.
You know, and like Dreamcast and
and now
all those.
we just brought these players into the online space.
Right.
For the first time.
And on top of that, because we had Socom and everybody got a headset with that Socom.
Everybody had a headset.
We all knew each other's voices. No one knew what each other looked like, but my God, we recognized each other's voices and gamer tags.
And that was the thing. You had to work at it to communicate in a PC game. You had to get TeamSpeak or get one of the other things. Roger Wilco was another one back in the day. So you had to go out and get other software, out and get mics and get that stuff to work. It was technical. Socom,
you plugged
it in. And everybody was talking. Everybody was, and then I'm asking questions. Where do I go? Where's this guy? Oh, look, there's a guy behind the tree. Oh, crap, I'm dead.
Then you couldn't talk to anybody.
Then you couldn't talk
to dead people.
But then all of a sudden, now you're like, wow, what are we doing here? Okay. Oh, well, did anybody see that thing the other night? And then now you're talking to the people in the dead room. That kind of built the relationships.
So it's ironic because we talked about this at dinner. That when you go back and look at Socom, and I know you guys have seen everybody referencing Socom, and this is why we talked about this. Is Socom really was the first forum to take off for a PlayStation game, and the PlayStation forums now are a result of that. I mean,
the forums that we have today are built off of the Socom community.
Right.
It's not. I mean, they had other game spaces. There was other people doing other things, but again, you had if you look at the page hits.
Yeah, small little clips.
You'd have 25, 30 people posting over here, 50 or 100 people over here, and 5,000 people posting over here.
Right.
It was pretty dramatic. And then Socom community built to a large enough degree where they actually said, we're going to separate this from the rest of the forums. It's going to become its own thing. It's its own thing. And they started doing it with other communities because Socom, that still remained a success when it was its own forum.
And even now it's its own thing.
It's still its own thing.
Its own beast in a whole other realm.
Yeah.
But so that's the Socom community and how it was built. And then you in turn, especially now Urgent Fury, Socom battles.
Socom battles. Remember that back in the day?
Yeah. Yeah, and
Game battles.
Don't forget, Socom battles became game battles, which became MLG.
That started it all.
And Urgent Fury and Socom battles started at the same time.
Yeah.
Urgent Fury just back in the day was if you didn't know somebody, you weren't going to play.
You weren't going to play.
And that's changed. But it's interesting in that dynamic is, you had those forums, and then you started having these other communities built around the forums. A lot of them now, that was what started the fan side thing.
Yeah, it did because. It's the clans. When the clans started getting together, and some of these clans were huge. They were 500 members.
Yeah.
I mean, our clan, we had maybe 25, 30 guys that were
always
older
on.
Guys, always on. And so we were we were our only close knit group. Some of them I'm still friends with today. It's been 14 years.
Yeah, and you look at it a lot of the clans on Urgent Fury are you're right. They're hitting that. They've surpassed 10 years in existence, and it's amazing. And so you got all these gaming communities.
Yeah.
And so going back to that, talk about what Connor was what is a gaming community? What does a gaming community mean? In my opinion, a gaming community brings a whole lot of focus to some kind of subject matter. In our case, we're really talking about Socom.
Yep.
And in line with that, one of the things that with this Kickstarter is we have all these Socom communities that are they're still there. I mean, if you go in and you Google a Socom community, you're going to find all these old clans that have been playing together for years, like Skull and Bones, Night Stalkers, the Arrow Clan, or Don't Fuck With, whatever you want to call them, which way you want to call them. These guys have been together forever. Pro Boards has tons of old clans forums. It's fun to go find clans that aren't active anymore, but you like find one of your old posts from like 9 years ago where you're like, some douchebag did something and you went onto their forums like, this dude's a douchebag, you know.
I was that guy.
And but now's the time that all of these SOCOM communities that have been sitting stagnant, kind of waiting for a fix.
And a lot of them have kind of, I mean, some of these SOCOM clans, because, you know, let's face it, the SOCOM that we played back then, we haven't had for a long time, so they've found other games too. They've kind of branched out and gone different directions.
Joined other clans. Started new clans.
Yeah.
Started another new clan. And started another new. Yeah. You know, but now's that chance for all of these guys that have had that SOCOM family. We finally have a chance to do something about it.
Yeah, we do.
You know, with HR kicking off that Kickstarter, a gaming community.
Kickstarter. That's a thing now.
Yeah. It's.
I heard about that.
It's where I kick you and you start.
It's
almost like the car, you know, when I push a button and it starts remotely.
Kickstarter is a thing now. And it's the empowering of the gamers.
It's the empowering of a community.
It's the empowering of a community of gamers to make choices on the content and the type of game that we want to play.
To prove that a studio is doing what you want.
Yep. Put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
Put your money. You want this game? Put your money down.
Right. So all of you guys out there, especially all of you guys that used to be on SOCOM together, used to compete wherever you used to compete, could be SOCOM battles, game battles, Urgent Fury, what was it? American SOCOM League, ASL, SOTG. You remember those guys?
I remember SOTG.
One of the SOTG guys was working the Joe's versus Pro booth.
Yes, he was.
I was like, no,
he's a nice guy too.
Yeah, SOTG
nice
Marine. So he was here at E3.
Yep.
You know, dude, I have remember the last Bastion tournament? We won that. I still have my last Bastion T-shirt.
I met some good old SOCOM guys.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. When I was talking to some of these developers, and I'm like, you know, telling them my story about, you know, how I got to E3.
Right.
You know, I'm one of the old SOCOM. Oh yeah, I used to play that game.
Everyone used to play.
SOCOM.
Man, you remember the good old I gotta give it out to those guys over at TRS because a bunch of them put up the old SOCOM commercials. Dude, that share video that they did
was huge.
That brought me back to the SOCOM commercials. I'm like, oh my god, Sony's back.
Just like shooting fish in a barrel.
And a big shout out to Leroy Jenkins. We still love
Leroy Jenkins.
You know, but all we can say is, look, you guys are, all of us, we're a big SOCOM family, and you know, and there's other tactical shooter families out there. Now, SOCOM.
Oh, there's plenty of room. Yeah. There's a lot of room in that space.
Well, and it's not so much as how much room there is.
Because it's not really that much out there that's not SOCOM.
Yeah, but there's a lot of you guys that are looking for that crack of tactical gaming. What most of us, they're the 2-day marathons that got me fired from my job. You know, of where you would play and play and play, and you wouldn't respawn. What the hell's respawn?
What's respawn?
You know, now's your chance. We need all of you guys in your communities, be it if you're active or not.
Yep.
Haven't logged on to your community in like 8 months.
If you're playing
2
something
years
else.
Playing something else, we need you to get all of that tactical gamer brethren back together because we got to support David Sears.
David Sears is the man.
He's
the man.
He's the god of SOCOM.
He is the god of SOCOM.
Speaking of,
look it up.
Men of SOCOM.
It's not just our opinion.
Yeah.
Go to the forums.
The men of SOCOM. Did you see the latest commitment by Seth Luisi?
I did.
Where he
the
said
latest comment.
He will be happy to be an enemy player so we can all shoot his ass.
Pretty much. Put the tag on him.
I've met Seth several times in my years of going to E3 and going to Zipper and all that stuff. and by God, we got to make sure we can shoot Seth Lucy. But this is your chance, guys. We need you to go to our link is bit.ly, and I'll put it here in the comments. But it's bit.ly/UF supports H Hour, because Urgent Fury is. I mean, we're more than just a fan site of H Hour. We're a community partner, and we're a competitive partner, and more importantly, we are fully vested in seeing this happen, because we miss those days of tactical gaming where it actually mattered. Not the kid that went to you on the forums that now plays COD because that's all he knows to do is run out there and start shooting people.
Yep.
We're talking about the guys that would get in fault and get in that room and cover both ways, so you couldn't come left, you couldn't come right, and you would hide behind the pillar, I guess stalactite or whatever the fuck that thing's called.
Yeah.
Behind there with a grenade, waiting for you to try to come through the door, and you just toss it and blow him up, or had a P&M mine.
P&M mine.
Oh man, fault in P&M mines was
my
the
backpedaling and dropping P&M mines, just having them coming at me around the corner.
And C4 that you didn't throw across the map, you had to put up on the wall, and if you were the shit, you would get it up on the wall and someone run by it right as it blew up.
Right as it blew up.
Or back in the KO days where we held down Antonora for 31 weeks because no one could breach that. They couldn't get past us. We had rockets, we had snipers. Yeah, it ain't
we had a guy with a shotgun hiding behind the door, and that was just like that was our last guy standing, and no one ever got through him.
So my spot and Sada's spot is we would lay down at the bottom of the stairs in Antonora in that hallway.
The dark,
and both
dark shadow where you couldn't see.
Both of us would have a rocket.
Yeah.
Out, and so we'd see a guy come down, and we'd just take turns rocketing. And you weren't going to breach us in Antonora. That was our space. And even we had to drop Patrick off the airport this afternoon. We should have recorded this morning while we still had him. But there's a great story if you go to some of the podcasts on Urgent Fury, past podcasts when we first bought Urgent Fury. Patrick interviewed us, and we got talking about how he ended up in a dress.
Oh my!
Because
God.
of our clan.
That was a bet he lost, huh?
You don't see that anymore.
No, you don't.
You don't. That was a
level of community that we had.
I got the picture, and I promised I wouldn't show it anymore, but he started to put his pictures up on Facebook. I'm going to find that picture, and it's going up on Facebook. Because
boy.
And he still calls bullshit to this day that we got one up on him because we called out one of his guys on the roster wasn't right.
Oh
yeah,
no.
Dude, you remember the day
stacking the clan.
Oh, it wasn't stacking the clan. The dude forgot to put one of the characters in the roster when he submitted the roster.
Oh.
and we called him out, and then we won the match because they didn't have that guy.
Because they didn't have get him out.
They say they lost the match because they didn't have the guy to play. That's the Socom and I keep saying Socom because H Hour is not Socom. H Hour is H Hour, but it's a spiritual successor.
That's the game. That's the game we play.
That's the game mechanics.
That's the game mechanics.
Right. That's the tactical shooter we want. David's ready to come back and give that to us, but he needs everyone's help.
Everyone. Everyone that played Socom.
We're recording this video, and it's just shy of, I think, $30,000. So he's almost a third of the way there.
Yeah, it's a good start.
It's a great
really
start.
Good start.
Now, about a weekend.
E3, that's it. I mean, we jumped in this thing full bore. And we started talking to people, and it's like, did you see David Sears did his Kickstarter? Oh, no, because they're busy.
Everyone's
busy. E3's just messed up.
I've talked to Sony producers that I've known for a couple years, and
everybody said good for him.
Right. Everyone's like, that's a great way to get this genre back in.
It is.
It's
not only a great way to get it back in, it's the only way.
As of right now, I would say that's probably true. And it's funny because some of the senior producers, I'm not going to talk names.
No.
But
you can't name names.
I mean, I could because he doesn't really mind it, but it was interesting because last night we crashed The Last of Us midnight release party where the actors were and all that, and we were just sitting around talking about it, and he's he said, "Did you notice those guys wearing the Socom HD shirts?"
Yeah.
And it was Ditch and his brother, right?
Ditch and his brother.
And I said, "Well, yeah." He goes, "I can't believe they want that game. I can't believe they wore those shirts." I said,
That's
"What do
the
you mean
community."
No, I said, "What do you mean you can't believe they wore those shirts?" "Well, why would they wear those shirts?" I said, "You remember them, right?" He goes, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah.
That's exactly. That's why they walked around the Sony booth wearing those shirts, because all of us as a tactical family, we want that tactical gaming. You know, the Battlefield's, it's getting there.
Battlefield's getting there.
It's getting there. Battlefield 4 looks awesome.
Battlefield 4 looks really good. But it's a different kind of game.
It's a different kind of mechanic.
It's a broader expansion. I mean, it's big maps, lots of players.
I mean, it's like Harvester like Harvester had triplets.
It's not the close quarters tactical combat.
Right.
It's not
it's not going in with your buddy
man on
and
man.
clearing a room.
Man on man, clearing a room.
You know,
if you stick your head out, boom, you die. I mean, we got to bring those kind of games back, and we're working on it. We got a couple other games out there too that, you know, Kickstarter successfully funded. The genre is not dead.
Right. If they can get funded on Kickstarter, why can't HR?
I mean,
it's going to happen.
To call him out, Christian Allen.
Yeah.
He stepped up, takedown, boom, it's a thing now. It's happening. I saw it.
You played it.
I played it.
You know, and they're not asking for a huge goal. And then they added the PS4 just today.
Now, see, if I've already bid up to that level, I still get it. But
yes.
I wished I could go bid again just so I could guarantee that to happen. But you can only bid once. You can only...
Yeah, you can only play
and I'm already
once.
past the 50. Sorry.
What's there to be sorry about? You didn't bid the 10,000?
No, I didn't bid the 10,000.
I
work for a living.
I can't wait to meet the guy that's going to bid the 10,000.
I work for a living and I flew out to LA.
And true that. Hey, could have drove.
You drove.
Yeah, but you're in Boston.
Yeah, if you couldn't tell, I have an accent. Yeah.
Texan, I can't believe we can understand each other. You're a Boston, I'm a Texan. You don't know how to say guacamole.
I do in Boston.
Well, so let's talk more. You know, going back to the PS4. So obviously everybody saw the PS4 dominated E3. We won't really rehash that hashtag of Xbox go home or broke, but David put up today that if 500 people, only
500 bidders. 500 contributors, I should say.
Not bidders, pledgers.
Pledgers. 500 pledgers.
We'll call them pledgers.
Yeah.
That actually sounds like some fraternity shit. I wonder if we get together with shillelaghs.
Ooh.
Anyway, so 500 guys, gals, kids, moms, dads, grandpas, or whatever, do $50 pledges. So $550 pledges guarantees HR
on the PlayStation 4.
We'll come to see PlayStation 4.
And you get to choose.
Of course.
You get to choose whether you get the PC version or the PlayStation 4 version.
Well, and let's talk about that, because even on Urgent Fury, some of the guys are confused. Like, well, this is a PC only game. That is not true.
It's a PC only demo for.
It was a PC only demo.
Well, the demo's going to be PC. Yeah, the demo's going to be on PC. But the demo is to show the game, to get it funded.
I guess the best way that it was explained to me by Justin, because I haven't had a chance to talk to David since I came out here because I've been so busy. But in talking to Justin, the best way to explain it is when you're bidding a game to a publisher, you've got to provide a tangible demo.
And this is what we heard from Sony too. You've got to show them numbers.
Right.
You got to have them something. You got to show them something.
Yeah, you got.
Where can we make our money?
You got to do proof of concept.
You got to prove it.
So when you come into proof of concept and you have a playable demo, you're able to show hands-on.
What we can do. We can provide this experience.
Right. Then
we have backers. We have thousands of people that gave us money to fund this game. To fund the demo.
You're basically. I mean, look at Takedown. 505 games. That's the perfect example.
That's how he did it. He got the backers behind him.
Right.
He funded it. He built a demo. put it out there. 505 Games said,
let's make it happen.
let's take that.
You know, but
they're cool guys too. I met them.
Oh yeah, I got to meet Christian.
Well, it's the 505 guys too.
Oh yeah, I met those guys. Yeah. I've met those guys over the last couple of years in the various games they've done. And but
who knows? Maybe they'd be interested in Socom or
no.
They wouldn't be interested in Socom.
I can think of some other publishers that I'd like to see have it.
I could think of quite a few.
I could think of some I don't want to have it, but we won't go there.
I could think of quite a few of those.
But what we're getting down to is first let's get those $500. Let's get those $550 pledges, because that's you're getting the game for less than a game cost today. And don't forget, the way Kickstarter works is you don't get charged until it hits its funding.
If it doesn't reach its goal, you don't get charged.
And it's not right when it reaches a goal either, guys. So don't get that confused. If it reaches its goal before the deadline, you're not going to get charged until the deadline. So
that's true.
For all you guys that are planning or wanting to save money, you can still pledge now, and you can come back and raise it if you need to. But you can pledge now, knowing that it's not going to be done until the end. Let's see, when is it? July? No, is it July 3rd?
I think so.
I don't know.
It's late. It's been a week. It's been a week,
a long week. But so going into that, let's besides the fact that everybody in their in E3 knew about H-Hour, thanks to a few of us spreading that word. What else did we see that was cool at E3? Besides, did you go to the Wake service for Xbox One?
No, I stayed out of their booth because I didn't want to have to kick anyone's ass or anything.
Well, it was too small. You couldn't. They made it so small, so it looked so full.
Well, less people. They didn't need.
Even Nintendo had a bigger booth than they did.
Nintendo had a lot of people in their booth, but Sony was huge. It wrapped around the Xbox booth. I mean, it was like Xbox booth was here, and PlayStation was out here. So no matter where people were,
they saw a big old PlayStation logo. And the booth was standing room only the whole time.
Oh, standing room only and waiting in line to play a game.
Well,
we were supposed to be. Well, we were supposed to be special on some of them, but there was a lot of people there.
Yeah. Well, I was special in all of them, but
I had to wait in line. I had to wait in line to play Gran Turismo.
You should have called me, because I'd have made it happen. But those sleds are awesome.
I played Gran Turismo. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I actually played another shooter, Blacklight Retribution. Blacklight Retribution. I played that with the new PS4. What did you think of the new controller?
Oh,
isn't it great?
I will got to retract my statements I made on the forums, because I got to set the record straight. I wasn't happy about the share button. Not because the share button. Well, not because the share button is going to become the video spam button, but on these shooters, you need that select button, like in Battlefield. That select button is your spot. You need that button, and they took that button away from us. And they gave us the touchpad, which, okay, well, that's not the same thing, but the touchpad is actually 2 buttons.
Right.
It clicks like a mouse.
It's a left and a right button.
And it still swipes. So it's actually 3 things that they added.
I'm so mad. Someone told me the swipe was turned on in Blacklight Retribution.
It didn't work.
No. Someone did it, and they didn't get a
They turned it on?
Yeah, they had it down on the floor, but if you swiped right, your player would flip the other guy off. If you swiped left, he would do Gangnam Style.
Okay.
Thanks, Socom, for making people dance.
We created that back on Socom Forums with the left,
but
right.
I didn't know. I'm like, man.
The controller
Jared
sticks.
didn't tell me.
Now, this is someone that somebody mentioned to me before. I mean, the DualShock 3 for me has been the default controller, because the DualShock has the analog sticks that are nice in line, fits in the hand well. But he says, one of the things that he had a problem with back in the day was when you go right with the left stick and then left with the right stick, your thumbs would be really close together.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes it clicked.
You would look like
Now that they've added that
giggity.
Yeah, giggity. Now that they added that touchpad in there, they've spread out the analog sticks a little.
And I don't think it was so much as adding the touchpad. I think they had already planned on spreading it. Yeah.
It's now there's more room. When you're holding that controller in your hand, your thumbs are out here.
Right, and it's a little more comfortable. I mean, mind you.
Yeah, sausage fingers.
Yeah, and I got big hands. I wouldn't
Knuckling,
gaming.
no.
No knuckling at all.
Nope.
Worked
Felt
fine.
good. And it felt solid. It felt like it had some heft to it, you know? Not like a thin piece of plastic.
So this is what we got now.
Yeah.
See, like this. I would say it was a little and I mean it's not dramatic either. It's just like this much bigger.
Yep.
But the sticks are more like this.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. You see that? Real close up here. Here we go. There. The sticks are more like there. They don't touch. They don't do this.
No.
Now, mind you, those have got control freaks on them, so they...
You got some more extension on
Yeah, my control freaks touch. On that one, they won't.
Now, do you think you're going to need those on the DualShock 4 for PlayStation?
The height is still the same, so I might.
You might.
I might only. And it's a lot of this has to do because my hands. I've got bigger hands, and I like the extension up here.
Yeah.
But the other thing, look at that. You see how flimsy that is?
Oh, they've got some spring to them.
Dude, they've got some stiffness.
It doesn't take a lot of effort though to move them.
Right, but
it does come right back
stiff.
to center.
Yeah, and they're stiff. You know, and the controller.
It doesn't feel cheap.
The controller is meaty. It's like
got some heft to it.
It's like picking up a.
Feels like you're holding something.
Like a 20-ounce bottle of Coke.
You're holding something.
My bad, Dr. Pepper. My bad. I don't know why I said
Mountain
Coke.
Dew.
I need a Dr.
Dr.
Pepper.
I like Dr. Pepper. Are you a pepper too?
I'm a gamer. That's the Dr. Pepper hashtag. Is I'm a gamer.
There you go. Oh, that's cool.
You didn't know that.
I do now.
When you enter in when you tweet out your entries for the PS4 giveaway, it tags your tweet as I'm a gamer.
Awesome. That's cool.
So that's a Dr. Pepper thing. What else did we see? Well, you got to see Castlevania. You played it. I like Castlevania. It's a cool game. I liked it. I don't really. I don't play games at E3.
It was an homage to the old school. It was.
It looked beautiful.
It was a gorgeous rendering, and it was pretty responsive on the control.
I don't play games at E3. A lot of guys get onto me that. Mind you, I did play Blacklight Retribution because it was upstairs, and I'll play every now and then. I'll play games upstairs in the Sony booth, if I have chance or whatever. You even played Octodad, right? The drunk game.
I played Octodad. Octodad is a weird ass game.
You got to be drunk to play that game.
I think you start to get drunk after playing that game.
But
it's basically you got these octopus arms that you're stretching out, and you're just knocking stuff over when you're moving things around.
You're drunk.
You're drunk. It's just like.
I swear to God, he was the developer of that. He must have been drunk when he came up with the idea.
And the one from Sony Santa Monica, the
Whir.
Yeah. The Order. That was an interesting game.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure that one out. All I can think about is I want to see more.
Right.
I want to see more.
Right. The Watch Dogs. I didn't get to play it. I really wanted to.
I didn't play it. I watched the trailer. They had a canned.
Was it a trailer or did he walk through?
It was a walkthrough, yeah, but it was kind of he did specific things every single time.
Well, yeah, it's a scripted walkthrough.
Scripted walkthrough, but it was all in game. It was all in gameplay, and it was interesting. I want to see more of that. Just the only thing I'm not too sure about.
Oh, don't go into your whole cat.
The hacking thing.
No, don't even go there.
I push a button, but
we'll say that for another day.
They give you options.
Yeah,
lots of options.
Yeah, a Drive Club looked awesome.
Drive Club played awesome. I played Drive Club.
Did you?
And they take your picture. It's like when you first. So I had to
Do you feel like you're at Disneyland?
I had to do some goofy stuff, I was like, yeah. It was on the controller.
Right.
I asked about a steering wheel, and they said we're thinking about it, because there's a big racing community out there. Right. But playing on the controller.
Well, I mean, it makes sense because with Gran Turismo.
Yep.
I've got a racing wheel.
The throttle. Mm-hmm. on the sticks felt good
with the triggers.
The
new triggers
feel good.
The new triggers are way different. I mean, they're not this. They're curved. They're kind of curved back.
They're recurved in.
Yeah.
So they actually feel like and
you don't slide off.
They're flat on the bottom, so it curls out, and so it felt okay as a throttle.
I'm trying to think of what other. Infamous.
Infamous.
That's all
Second
I can say
Son.
about that. Can't wait to play that game.
Did you see the commercial?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
That was awesome.
It's infamous.
It's infamous.
Now, for you guys that heard that Drive Club the Plus edition comes free, on the PS4, we did find out that it's a limited amount of maps and a limited amount of cars.
Yep.
Which I agree. I'm okay with that.
It's a taste. You get to try the game, play the game
without restriction.
Without restriction.
You just don't have all. You don't have.
You don't
all
have
the
everything.
stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's a good way. The more I think about it, I think that's a great way to utilize Plus for games. So what if we don't get the entire game? Because there are some people that are going to get a game on Plus and not even, not like it. They're just not going to like it.
Not going to like it.
But there will be that guy that gets the game, like Drive Club.
It's a good way
and
to
decides
demo the game. Yeah.
I like this game. I want to go.
And you
ahead
get to try a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Like different cars, different tracks. Just not all of them.
Yeah, it's a full playable game with trophies
playable.
and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't get them all.
Can't get them all.
So I
You
like
gotta get
that.
them all.
Yeah, I like that. Well, I'm not Ray.
Okay. Ray.
Yeah, he's gonna get them all. Well,
He's gonna.
No.
Well.
Hall is the trophy whore.
Him too.
Hannah Montana.
Yeah, he had
Platinum.
Montana. That okay.
Yeah.
Give him props to that. He
Yeah,
didn't.
Yeah. But what other games? Splinter Cell. Awesome.
Yep. Actually,
The new Tom Clancy game. I can't think of what it was called. That looked pretty cool. I didn't really get to see the gameplay on it, but it looks.
I missed that one.
Yeah, it was on the backside of Ubisoft's booth. Destiny looks freaking amazing.
Destiny, I'm excited to see where they're going with that.
Excuse me, guys. I don't know if you consider that Halo-esque, but I could see it being a contender to go against Halo.
It's that type of gameplay, but I think
it's got the Bungie feel to it.
But I think they're gonna go a little bit different route because now we're talking about a persistent world where it's just gonna keep on going.
Yeah, that's true. You make a good point, but I think it's gonna appeal to the Halo players because we're gonna have a lot of Halo players coming over to PlayStation.
I think it's gonna appeal to shooters
in general.
Yeah. Because it's okay. You can compare it to Halo in a certain respect, but it's not pew pew pew.
And the reason I bring it up because it's a Bungie game, and Bungie, of course, started on Halo, so it's one of those things you want to address that.
I think they did.
I think it's going to be an awesome game.
It's got their stamp, their magic sauce in it, but they're not trying to copy. They're not trying to imitate.
Right,
anything.
they're doing
their own thing.
Yeah, which HR doing their own thing.
They're doing their own thing. We're not gonna say everything has to be copy and pasted out of all these 6 different games. We're gonna go old school.
Right. Let's see. What else? What was another good game?
Battlefield. I did play that. I mean,
Battlefield 4.
That Battlefield 4.
Yep.
Lots of improvements on the thing. It was an alpha build.
It
wasn't a finished game.
It doesn't matter.
It wasn't all pretty and everything yet. But
if that wasn't pretty,
just think how much more pretty it's going to be.
Right.
They have all kinds of.
They showed off spectator mode.
New kinds of mechanics.
So
commander mode and spectator mode.
We might get to use it for tournaments.
I think that's kind of a goal.
We might.
I think that's kind.
Killzone.
I played the Vita one. That was interesting. It actually played pretty well.
Cool.
Running around the map, shooting each other. I mean, it played like a shooter.
That's awesome.
It played like a shooter.
We saw so much.
It's overwhelming.
For you guys, that's your first year. You could tell. I mean, you ran around with me quite a bit, so you could tell. For me, it was another day at the park.
People that have gone to PAX, like I go to PAX East
right.
now, since PAX East has come to Boston.
Gives you new appreciation for PAX.
PAX is about gamers. It's about the industry showing the games to us, the fans.
You bring up a good point because very few people have been to PAX and E3 because everyone's like, I want to go to E3. You're so lucky to go to E3.
E3
is work.
E3 is work. It's all about networking.
Yeah.
It's all about marketing. And now because you're not talking to the gamers. Well, you are because everyone's a gamer there. But you're talking to developers. You're
not talking to the Joe Blow.
Yeah. Everybody there is somebody.
We got to come up with a. What were they using when they did the presidential elections? What was that? What they call that guy?
Oh, Joe Plower.
Yeah, Joe. We need a Joe Gamer.
We need a Joe Gamer.
We need a Joe Gamer.
I'll be that guy.
Well, you're Grandpa Gamer.
I am.
You're not quite Grandpa Gamer. Grandpa was here too.
Yeah.
But you know, but PAX is for the Joe gamer. It's for the
It is.
It's for the guy that sits in his living room.
50,000 of my friends all in
Right.
the same building.
And they sit at home, they play. Now
Yeah.
they get to meet people and be awkward together. E3 is industry people and media people
There's a lot of somebodies there.
fighting. Yeah,
There's a lot of somebodies there.
you were somebody this time.
I was a somebody there.
You were somebody.
I was an MVP.
That was pretty cool.
That was hella cool.
Because
Because then people going like, "Hey,
where'd you get that shirt?
hey, where'd you get that shirt?"
There's only 20 of them.
Wait, can I do it? Can I do
Yeah,
it?
yeah, go for it.
Am I in camera? All right.
Now you're in camera. There's only 20 of those
Only
shirts.
20 of us. And what do they? How do they describe us? We're the voice of the community.
We are the voice of the community. Even
So-
I'm an MVP.
We represent all
We're gamers that
the
represent
gamers.
gamers.
Yeah, we're gamers that represent gamers.
And there's more than 20 MVPs. Don't get me wrong. There was just 20 here.
Yeah, they invited 20 of us. There is more, and more are probably coming.
Yeah, you'll see more MVPs at more events, but and everybody's kind of got their role. You know, our role is kind of obvious in the MVP program because we do competitive events along with us and Frag Nation.
Yep.
We do.
Which we met Frag Nation guys.
Yeah, those guys came out. Which I mean I've known Jason.
Yep.
For about a year or so. And,
People with Pixel and me and
yeah, got to meet Ari from Triple Red. Is it Triple Red?
Triple Red. Yeah.
Yeah, and then got to meet Handsome Harry.
Yep. He's a slick dude.
and Laura, dude, she whooped everybody in Castlevania.
Castlevania. Now this is the conversation I had with the guy, right? And this is the guy that's taking Castlevania, right? And I was talking to him about like the tutorial.
Right.
Because I've got friends that develop games and they just like they don't want to have like heavy tutorials.
Right.
And this is just the first level. It's the first 5 minutes of the game.
Right.
They're like, you have to push X to do that, you have to do this to do that. And I'm like looking at her and I'm like, she doesn't even need something like that. She's gonna pick these controllers up and she's gonna feel this thing out. And I'm looking at her, I'm like halfway through the first level. I'm doing okay. I'm halfway through the first level. And I'm looking over at her screen, I'm like, damn, this girl can game.
I would have liked to have done a side because I did a live stream of the Last of Us demo and got my ass handed to me. I would have loved to have done a side by side with her and watch her just go right through in 5 minutes, and I took an hour.
She beat the demo within like 5 minutes.
Man,
It took me like 10, probably twice as long. But I was like exploring and talking to the guy too.
I can't even remember who all the MVPs that were there. There was Steffi Rocks. She was awesome.
Steffi
She
rocks.
carpooled with us.
She
the whole
carpooled
time.
with us. Steffi was a good carpooler.
Yeah, and we had Carlos Crazy S, who I swear to God is not old enough to be here. And then of course Spider Jew Josh, who's with the
Radio
PlayStation.
Radio
That's it,
PlayStation.
on Twitch.
Hooked him up with Daisy guys.
Yeah, good. That's cool.
It's all about networking.
Yeah, and then we had some guys. I'm horrible when it comes to remembering names, but those guys that are the Hellgas group.
Oh yeah, they got their own.
They got their own Killzone
whole
thing
Killzone
going. So
club.
they
had T-shirts.
Yeah,
they had their own T-shirts. It was pretty
but
cool.
Those guys, they were in heaven because they got to play with Killzone.
They got to play with Killzone, and just to gotta let everybody know, kind of what we heard. Killzone is going to be the thing.
Killzone's going to be awesome.
Killzone's going to be the thing at launch. It's going to be the launch game. It's going to be the one that we want to start on PlayStation.
Well, but it's not the only launch game.
It's not the only launch game, but it's going to
be huge.
It's going to be the.
It's going to be huge. It's not the. It's just going to be huge.
Drive Club is also going to be.
I think
pretty big. It's going to come with PlayStation 4 Plus.
I think.
If you have Plus, go get Plus. If you have Plus now,
you already got Plus,
and you get a PS4.
It carries over.
It carries over. And you get Drive Club.
Right. And someone asked me, well, they got GT6. And I said, it's not the same game. GT6 and Drive Club are completely different.
It's not the same game.
GT6 is as real as it gets. You might as well be sitting in your car when you're playing GT6.
It is.
Especially in one of those sleds.
It's
they
hardcore.
were awesome.
Those sleds were awesome.
Yeah, they were awesome. But GT6, awesome.
It was awesome.
But
Drive Club is. I wouldn't say casual because it doesn't play.
It doesn't play like.
It doesn't play casual. It doesn't play like Need for Speed.
Need for Speed. There you go.
It plays. It's good on a controller, but it's not. You got to bring your game. You got to bring your game.
I think it's a good marry between maybe Need for Speed and Gran Turismo. It's a good middle ground.
It is. You don't have to worry about like every little nut and bolt in your car.
Right.
For Gran Turismo. I mean, because Gran Turismo, it's all about tuning your car.
Oh yeah, it's
all about the details inside, and it's not as complicated. It's an easier pick up and play, but a very good racing game.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. So
now price $3.99.
Yeah, $3.99.
And then Plus is still not going to change.
$49.99. $49.99. And if you got Plus now, like I do, so
yeah, I got it.
Them saying you have to have Plus to play multiplayer, it doesn't.
Like, it doesn't it done.
Already got it.
Yeah.
And now that they say, okay, did you get it? Well, now when you get the PS4 and your Plus carries over to that, and if you got the Vita, it carries over to that, and it's still going to be on the PlayStation 3.
And it's kind of quiet, but if you got a PSP or a PSP Go, every now and then there's a PSP game that comes through Vita that you can download on your PSP. So they kind of don't really talk about that anymore. But so that's what PSP, PS Vita, PS3, PS4.
One PS Plus account.
One PS Plus account, 4 platforms.
Yep.
You know that the PSP, you don't see very many PSP games.
I still have a PSP.
Do you?
I do.
I got my Vita.
You got a
Vita?
Vita?
I brought my Vita.
I'm hoping they like do some bundle stuff.
I really want.
We did drop that in there a couple times, didn't we?
Yeah, we
did drop
I'd
that
love
in
to see
there.
For all those that don't have a Vita, this would be a good time because you can play your PS4 games on your Vita.
I think almost every single game is going to be cross.
Yeah.
Every single game.
Well, cross is not the right word
not
for
cross,
it.
but
you can play it with your Vita.
Play it with your Vita.
So
I think the only things that
so if your wife
do,
is your wife, aka girlfriend, kids or whatever, whining because you're taking up the TV, say go play the TV. I'll go play over here. You go kick back in your recliner and tell them to shut up and you play your game.
I think the only ones that aren't going to do it is the ones that use the camera, the PlayStation Eye, the new one.
Oh, yeah. Who knows?
I don't know. I'm just guessing that. But every game that you play on the PlayStation 4.
Oh, but the PSI is not required. Did you know that?
No, it's not required.
It's not.
You don't have to have it.
No, you don't have to get a.
You don't have to have
a disconnect cover.
You can sit in your living room without pants and not worry about it. Pants are optional.
Hey, well, thank God you got pants on today.
Thank God.
Whew. Giggity. I don't know. E3 was awesome. I couldn't have shared it with, because I normally am hanging out with Sony guys and a few, our small little group that we've hung out with for the last few years, every year, and now this group is like
expanded.
A community.
Yeah, it's a community.
Rolling back to community, we had community here, and I think
we brought community to PlayStation.
We brought community to E3.
We brought community, and we knocked down that door and we brought that thing in there. We're a thing now. Community, which community we've always been there, but now Sony knows we're there.
Right.
And they have heard us.
They listen. Crazy.
They listen.
Oh yeah.
They heard us.
Yeah.
We can't talk about everything, but we had some discussions.
But they're listening.
We had some discussions.
And some of the stuff they already knew. They already had a good thumb on what's going on.
Well, let's talk about what they just launched with the
Greatness Awaits.
Greatness Awaits.
Well,
the YouTube.
Let's not tell them everything. Let's
just
tell them how to get started.
Yep.
All right, so go to youtube.com/PlayStation. You're gonna see Greatness Await banner, and you're gonna see this big video right in the middle. Push play,
which is all the characters.
No, don't spoil it.
All the
don't spoil it. You
there.
didn't hear that. So while you're watching the video, there's this little bar at the bottom, nice blue color, PlayStation blue.
Yep.
And then you'll see like this light blue come across. And there's this little spot in the center, you'll see the arrow. When that little light blue gets there, click it.
Click it.
Just click it. We're going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
We're done. We're done. We're not going to talk about. I'm stopping the video.
There you go.
Oh, I can't stop the video yet, though.
What?
Because we're giving away a PS4.
Holy shit. Where do I sign up?
Did you know we're giving away a PS4?
I did.
Oh. Did you sign up already?
I did.
Oh. But did you go get your extra entries if you follow Soft Studios on Twitter, and if you like
I haven't done
Soft
that
Studios on Facebook, you get extra entries.
Ooh, I have liked Soft Studio on Facebook. I like Soft Studio. Period.
Oh, I love Soft Studios.
I was like the first day they were a thing. I was out like signing up. Hey, I'm interested in this. What are you guys doing?
I was ahead of you on that.
Yeah, probably. But then, like, I saw they were working on something, but I didn't know what it was. I wasn't sure what
Now you
HR
know.
was going to be. So, but I paid attention. And then I heard that name.
What name?
David Sears.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Peter Griffin.
No.
UrgentFury.com, top left-hand corner, sign up for a PS4. Top right-hand corner, underneath the ad, we got to have ads, guys. Don't hate on it. We got to pay the bills. Right underneath the ad, pledge to HR.
There you go.
We got it all right there on the front page at UrgentFury.com. Simple as that. Big things coming with Urgent Fury. Of course, all you guys have heard about it. We're doing a Call of Duty tournament, $15,000 cash pool.
That's some coin.
That's some cash to play video games.
Damn.
We're not targeting. We welcome the pro gamers.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys want to come out, go ahead. But this is for the community.
This is for the gamers.
This is for the casual gamers to come out, have a chance. Yes, there's an entry fee because obviously we got to cover cost. But you and 6 of your friends get together, put the money together, come up to Chicago. There's a bar for you guys that are old enough to drink. Crazy ass, I still don't believe that's a real ID, but you know.
We had that talk with him too.
Yeah.
When you're 50, yeah.
Yeah,
It pays off a dividend.
He's going to look like 20.
Yeah.
That's August 3rd in Chicago, or outside of Chicago, Downers Grove at Game Plaza. Great venue, been a great partner of ours. Of course, brought to you by Dr. Pepper Gaming, Brady Games, Project Games that do the I've got it portable gaming units. I'm not going to move it because it's all hooked up right now.
He's been doing this at E3 like all week long. It's his thing. That's what he's here for.
Yeah,
it's your thing.
Because it's my shtick.
This is a
How
thing.
do you say it?
This is my shtick.
There you go. See, that's Boston.
And he has wicked good shtick. He does.
I got a wicked good shtick.
He's got wicked good
Giggity.
shtick.
So
on that note,
UrgentFury.com, everything's there. Make sure you go hit up Soft Studios and support HR. That's the big call out at the end of all this. E3 was awesome.
E3 was awesome.
We're getting this awesome console that is half the size of the VCR.
It's nice.
Yeah, and it's
powerful.
It's a front loader. It's everything.
Almost everything a gamer could ever want. But you know what we need?
HR.
HR. We need the games. We need the games. We need HR.
But you know what? PlayStation 4 supports indies.
They do.
No hurdles.
No hurdles. Just games.